It's great to hear both a man and a lady's what's the word? Recollections of these times and what it was like in Hare Krishna World 1.0, I call it, because it was a different time. It wasn't like I'm sort of getting into Krishna. It's like you're into Krishna or you're not into Krishna. There is no middle ground, and it's sort of like if you were in it, it's like if it's like you were joining the Marines or something. It was like a boot camp, and you had like a commander-in-chief, Śrīla Prabhupāda, and you just had a mission to spread the holy name, create temples, travel far and wide. And I'm really eager to pick their brains today and find out what's going on. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Live from the Govardhan Eco Village in beautiful Maharashtra, India, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a Bhakti Yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath. And today, Pranapriya is my co-host today. Kostuba's on a little break, and we have a special day today. By the way, it's February 11, 2026. It's episode 1733. Welcome to the show, beautiful people. I'm here at the beautiful Govardhan Eco Village, and Pranapriya and myself have just had the best lunches, not because of what we're eating, but who we're eating with. So very grateful that two of them I sort of kidnapped and asked them to join us on the show today because they have great stories, and both of them are great authors, and they wrote authors about their memoirs, time spent with Śrīla Prabhupāda. This stuff is valuable, and Pranapriya fancies herself a Prabhupada girl herself. She loves reading every bio that possibly comes out on about Prabhupada. And it's
these two escaped my attention, these two books, so I was super excited both to learn about them and to get my hands on the copy and time with the authors. So one of them is Journey to the Pacific Rim by Bali Mardan, and the other is Śrīla Prabhupada is Coming, My Personal Memories of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada by Mahamaya.
And it's great to hear both a man and a lady's recollections of these times and what it was like in Hare Krishna World 1.0, I call it, because it was a different time. It wasn't like I'm sort of getting into Krishna. It's like you're into Krishna or you're not into Krishna. There is no middle ground, and it's sort of like if you were in it, it's like it's like you were joining the Marines or something. It was like a boot camp, and you had like a commander-in-chief, Śrīla Prabhupāda, and you just had a mission to spread the holy name, create temples, travel far and wide. And I'm really eager to pick their brains today and find out what's going on. But before we start, Pranapriya, do you have any announcements?
Yeah, I should mention that we'll do the show next week. We'll do it Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So it's still in the half hour, which is a little strange for people. Speaking of authors, though, Raghu, you've been working on your book quite hard.
Thank you.
Very diligently. He's been a recluse since we've been back at GV, practically speaking, except for coming out for lunch. And
recluse means what? Reclusive. I thought you meant reckless. I haven't been reckless.
You haven't been
This
reckless.
is about the most reckless thing I've got so far is the Madhava Ras, recommended by Bali Mardan. So It's parampara.
But how's your book coming?
My book is coming great. I'm working nonstop on this book. It's the 6 Pillars of Bhakti, which I've been teaching lectures on, which is, it's nothing, it's not my genius, it's Lord Chaitanya's genius, but it's the importance of the Trinadapi Sunichena verse that Lord Chaitanya teaches, find to be, not that it's spiritual, but it's the threshold or the doorway to have a spiritual experience. And it's something that no matter what religious path you're on, everybody can find some type of use for these teachings and how to apply them to your life. So what I did is I just dissected it, looked at it from every possible angle, and realized like these are the big things that every spiritualist needs in their life.
It's like every materialist needs them too, I think, you know.
Truthfully, if you're not tolerant, right?
Yeah.
If you're always searching for validation, if you can't see the good in other people, how happy will your workplace be? How happy will your family be? How happy will your relationships be, your marriage be?
I mean, I brought these 6 pillars back actually after the first time I learned them at GEV. Maybe in 2018 was the first time I came, and I started using them at the catering business.
In the workplace,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, in the workplace, and felt like it was really transformative.
And then our good friend sort of like said, I want to do a book on them for the 6 pillars for children. So anyway, again, it's not my creation. We all know that I'm not that bright, but Lord Chaitanya has great things to offer, and I really feel like, and being in this place right now, the Govardhan Eco Village, I mean, you can see if you're watching this on YouTube, the backdrop is just breathtaking. I feel like I'm in the Vrindavan forest. And the type of people that gather here, both the senior devotees, the brand new people, it's just like a special vibe. Usually me and Pranapriya, after being with the groups for so long, we break away and go to Goa just to get some privacy and just live a simple life. And then our good friend Hari Priya, who lives here, said, you should just stay at the GEV. We'll get you a place to stay. And I was like, well, yeah, we like to, just get away from the regular diet. We just like to eat simple. Oh, don't worry. We'll make you simple food. And I just try to keep on making excuses. And I was like, you know what? Let's just stay here. But I'm glad we did.
I'm usually the one who's sort of like kicking you under the table of like, no, we got to stick with our plan. And I was like, yeah, Haripriya's right. We should just come back here. Like, I think she could make all arrangements for us and it'll be better.
I mean, although I like Goa a lot, actually. I like the beach. It's very calm. You can get like nice vegan restaurants. There is a consciousness vibration higher when you're in a holy place.
Yeah.
And we just really feel that. And so, and our lunches, not only have they been simple, but we've had great association. So we're going to start the first part of this meeting with Mahamaya, who is the author of Śrīla Prabhupāda is Coming. Please welcome Mahamaya, Hari Bol. So come right up here. And for both of you, when you talk that mic, you got to put your mouth sort of right on the microphone like this. Okay. Hari Bol, how are you?
Hari Bol, good.
Great to see you. So you hold that mic, you put it right to your mouth.
Okay, like this close?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
So welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for sitting and eating with us and sharing your story with us.
Sure.
And the book, though, we just got it today.
True.
You were Pishima's personal servant. Now, if you don't know who Pishima is, she's Prabhupada's sister, who looks just like Prabhupada.
Female Prabhupada. It looks.
But
and in devotion, too.
And in devotion. So interesting. But before we get into Pishima or even your Prabhupada stories, can you tell me how you stumbled into Krishna consciousness? You don't have to go into great detail, but everybody's journey to bhakti is a little interesting, and we all find our own journey in hearing somebody else's journey. But just keep that mic close so they can hear you, because you're already very soft-spoken.
Okay. You say so? Okay, well, the one sentence description of how I became a devotee is that I saw devotees in different places and started chanting Hare Krishna because it made me feel good. I was totally on the vibrational platform. And eventually, a friend took me to the Hare Krishna temple in Boston. Unbeknownst to me, actually, that's where we're going. And he left me there.
But you were already into. What was your backstory? You were a hippie. You were a searcher. You were.
I wish I could say I was a searcher. I love when devotees say, they.
Searching for God.
Yeah, like intellectually. No, not for me. It was just a vibration. Basically, I came from a New York intellectual Jewish family. Mm-hmm. My father was a book publisher. My mother would help him with editing, and they stressed education. But the funny thing was I didn't really imbibe that fully because I went to college. I went to UMass Amherst.
Oh, wow. It's not far from us.
But, I was an out-of-state student, and I really went there because I heard it was a party school.
You were a partier.
Not that I was. It's just that I had worked so hard in high school.
Right.
I just wanted a vacation, basically.
Right.
So it was easy, and that first year was just like a review of high school.
Right.
I guess New York education was higher level, or whatever the reason. But I dropped out after a year and a half.
Okay, me too.
And I did work for a while in Boston. But I did become a hippie.
You did become a hippie.
Yeah.
And that led you to various...
To California, to Hawaii. I first saw devotees in California, in Berkeley.
Okay.
And I was telling the other day how I thought the devotees were Buddhists, and that one of them might be setting themselves on fire any minute.
Oh, because that's what Buddhists did at that time, to protest the Vietnam War.
Exactly. But then I saw a woman join this group of maybe 3 or 4 men in saffron, and she had a baby stroller, the little baby, and I was really taken back by that.
Right.
I didn't know women were into this. I didn't know what it was they were.
Right.
But anyway, I saw the devotees in California and in Hawaii, and like I said, the vibration. It was so attractive. I can't tell you to this day, like, why, you know? But, yeah.
And did that vibration get louder when you met Prabhupada, and where was that? So when they dropped you off in the temple in Boston, did you stay, or did you say, okay, I want to go home now?
Oh, no.
Or did you have a home at that point?
No, I didn't.
It's a very interesting phenomenon. What year was that?
That was like New Year's Day of 71.
Okay. Interesting phenomenon that people from educated, if not sophisticated, well-to-do families, their children just become homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. And end up on a Hare Krishna temple. Okay, so what did you do in that temple?
Well, after they found out I could type, I became the temple secretary. But then it seems like it was like another week, and they sent me to compose, which is what we call typesetting.
Okay, this was like they don't even have this job anymore.
True.
Typesetting is pre-word processors. I know that because when I made a record album when I was young, we'd have to go to a typesetter before that's how you would lay it out. You go to a special people. So they were called composers.
Yeah, we were called composers, and we wanted to read what Prabhupada said because no one else had read it except the editors.
Because the books were barely out then. There was a few books out.
There was, we were working on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2 or 3.
Wow.
And starting the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So it's like we felt privileged to read these books before everybody. So we wanted to go as fast as we could, to read as much as we could.
Wow.
And then we'd go tell the other devotees what we read.
Wow. It's actually quite amazing. Perhaps like the first people in Western culture, except for a few peculiar academics, who study books from India, Indologists.
Right, and they didn't understand anything. I mean, okay, I have to say that once I came to the temple, I did learn the philosophy, and it kind of surprised me, but it all made so much sense. I didn't know that the chanting was God's names, and I understood the principle that our life is meant for purification.
Sure.
That, the heart is covered in dirt, and this chanting cleanses the heart so that we can, connect to God, be a servant. I really understood the principle of service.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, and
you dove right in doing this type of service. And so you are now the what was it called? It was called the Bhaktivedanta Book.
No, it was called ISKCON Press.
ISKCON Press back then.
Yes.
And
we were actually printing. There was a printing press.
Wow.
In the temple in Boston.
That's so cool.
Yeah, well, they didn't get the bindings to be tight enough.
But it's quite charming though to find an old book from those days. It's quite charming.
And fall apart in your hands, unfortunately.
So so you're actually publishing books. Young lady.
I
mean, how old were you?
Okay, I was 24 when I joined.
24. Okay.
They did think I was 13. I don't know why. Guess I look young. It's younger than I am.
You do look young.
Yeah, I'm going to be 80 in a few months.
You're going to be 80? Wow. Unbelievable. Your skin is perfect.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm not this body. No.
Yeah. Don't get flattered. You're not this body.
But, well, it all... Okay, Śrīla Prabhupāda was here in India at the time.
Okay.
And he was doing the World Sankirtan party. And everybody was wishing, I can't wait for Prabhupada to get here. And I was thinking, I don't want Prabhupada to get here for 6 months. Because that was the requirement to get initiated for most people.
Oh, wow. So you were hoping if he could get here in 6 months, as soon as he comes, I'll get initiated.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's exactly what happened.
Wow. So great. He came, you got initiated personally.
Yeah. It was in the old Brooklyn Temple, Henry Street.
Oh, wow.
Devotees came from Canada, from all up and down the East Coast. And I was living in Washington, D.C. I mean, I just kept on changing temples. Not very good at staying in one place.
Was it you, or did you get a different service that moved you around?
Well,
it's okay.
Yeah. Every move has a story about
it. It's okay.
Which I tell in the book.
Okay.
I tell it like it is.
And so what was your memorable times with Prabhupada? I think from the book, I didn't get the chance to read the book because we just got it today. I was a little angry at Pranapriya yesterday. I was like, just go to her room and get it tonight. That was last night. She's like, I texted her. She didn't write me back. She said she'll bring it to lunch. I was like, get it now. Get it now.
Oh.
And she's like, I don't want to be pushy.
No problem.
I was like, we're Hare Krishnas. We're all pushy. We're all pushy.
Okay. Well, it wasn't in America. Seeing Prabhupada in America was pretty much you had to be a temple president or in some kind of position.
Yeah.
Maybe a temple president's wife would get to see Prabhupada. Otherwise, it was like in public forums, like.
Right. He's giving a lecture or something.
Right. A lecture, maybe going on his morning walk, coming back from his morning walk. But you don't get to
hang out
talk
with
to him or
Prabhupada.
anything. No. And then meeting him as he arrives at a temple or seeing him off at the airport when he leaves. All very formal situations. I mean, I have a few stories here and there. But really where I saw Prabhupada most was here in India. And I just think of myself as super fortunate for a rank-and-file ordinary devotee to have seen Prabhupada as much as I did. It's all because he would come and spend months at a time in India. And mostly I saw him in Mayapur.
In Mayapur, back in 19...
That was 75.
75, wow. And
yeah.
Let's just get straight.
76,
because we just came from beautiful Mayapur, hosting thousands of people, with thousands of pilgrims coming daily to Mangalarti. But you came, first of all, it's like when we come to India, we come with our little posse. I bring a pilgrimage, and we have 20 people or 30 people, or here we had 80 people at a certain point. When you came on an airplane with how many devotees?
Well, I know the total amount at that Govardhan Festival was 400, but on the plane that I was on, I'm not...
Oh, didn't you say that there was a bus load of you that came of 150 devotees, and then you met another 150 devotees?
Okay, it didn't quite go like that. Everybody went to Mayapur to begin with.
Okay.
So people came from Europe, and some of them came on our same plane. Like our plane went from New York to London.
Okay.
So everybody coming from America was on that plane.
Okay.
And then we picked up more. And then other devotees are coming from Australia.
Wow.
Maybe one or two from South America. I just remember the number 400 as a total number.
Okay.
So we all started in Mayapur, went on parikramas, Prabhupada gave class every day.
Wow.
It was totally ecstatic. And then out of that group, 150 took the train to Hyderabad. That's the number you're remembering.
Okay.
Took the train to Hyderabad. Everybody else went on to Vrindavan.
Wow.
And after Hyderabad, we went to Vrindavan.
Now, just like, let's go back to Mayapur for a while.
Yeah.
Mayapur wasn't even built, really, was it?
I'll tell you how many buildings there were. There was the boundary wall, which was rooms for the brahmacharis.
Okay, yeah, a wall.
Yeah. And then there was a go-down, which means like a storage area.
Go-down's short for like a garage or something.
Yeah. This was actually used to make cloth. They were doing headlooms and making saris and gamshas and dhotis. And then there was Prabhupada's Bhajan Kutir.
Which is like a little hut.
It was not even as nice as it is now, which is
a nice hut.
This was like a crude hut. And then there was the temple. So that was the Lotus building. Ground floor was the temple. And then guest rooms above that. And Prabhupada's room was in there. And then there was the prasadam hall. We call it the big kitchen. So there's a kitchen and prasadam hall. That was it. Okay, there was a goshala. We did have cows.
Okay.
And they were kind of way over there. And I don't think there was any buildings.
And you were
huts.
You were saying that your job, somehow you got the job of taking care of Pishima, Prabhupada's sister.
Well,
how did that work out? What was she like? Did you speak English?
She spoke 2 words of English.
Which was?
Water and wash.
Wash. Okay. 2 necessities.
Well, it just shows her mentality of anybody who came near her, she would sprinkle with Ganga water.
Okay, that's a good
One
sign.
of my jobs as her personal servant was to carry this big jar. And especially bead bags, be soaking wet. But sometimes people get doused head to toe. She could see contamination where nobody else could. But she was there at the 75 Gorpurning Festival.
Wow.
And I was just one of many women who, was around her. But when I got to take care of her, it was in January of 76 when Prabhupada came to Mayapur to stay for 2 months. And so she came shortly after Prabhupada arrived.
Wow.
And I thought there'd be a big competition among the 6 Western ladies who are living in Mayapur. But I was the only one who wanted to be your servant, so got it like that. And she was such good association.
Why is that? If you didn't speak the language,
I knew
what rubbed off on her, on you from her?
That she was just always positive and complimenting, even if people weren't worthy of it. It seemed to me,
To me, it seems like that whole experience is similar to like Boy Scout camp. You're like camping out, practically speaking, or living outside, so to speak, really in the elements, in the sun, in the river, cooking on fire.
It was pretty basic.
Yeah.
But I was staying at the Lotus Building.
Okay.
With Pishima.
Okay.
And so it wasn't completely out.
Okay.
Not totally.
Okay. What were some of your best memories of Prabhupada then, when you got some times with him? Maybe something from the book that you could share.
Sure. Well, I think it was so cool that when Prabhupada arrived in Mayapur in, like I say, January of 76, first of all, we had a big kīrtan at the gate, which wasn't completed fully until that time. And so we were chanting, seemed like, for a couple of hours. No cell phones, of course. We didn't know exactly when Prabhupada was arriving.
Right, you don't say, okay, I'm come down the road right now.
Yeah. So we were just having kirtan for so long, and I really was in that mood of, I'm not this body, and, we're all connected. It was a combination of Bengalis plus a lot of people from different parts of the world. Not a lot. Okay. Total the population of Mayapur at that time was about 100 devotees.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Men, women, and children. Maybe 125. Somewhere in that range.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I said, out of which were 6 Western women. So when Prabhupada arrived, they gave him a pair of scissors. He cut a big ribbon. It was inaugurating the front gate.
Wow.
And then we all joyfully walked. There was a road at that time from the front gate right to the Lotus Building. And at some point, they brought the Mangal Arti sweets to Prabhupada. And I think he popped one in his mouth and then distributed to whoever was nearby. However, the next day started a routine that happened every day, that they would bring the Mangal Arti sweets to Prabhupada while he was still on the Vyasasan at the end of Guru Puja.
Wow.
And the little boys, there was a boys' Gurukula.
Oh, wow.
So no girl Gurukula, but there's only 5 little girls, but there was, 25 little boys, and they would all be hanging out at the Vyasasan, holding their hand out.
Waiting for the sweet.
Yeah, they probably would put the sweet in their hand. And then he started, as time went on, he was breaking the Mangal Arti sweets into smaller and smaller pieces so that besides the Gurukula kids getting, then the men would get. And if there was still some left, the ladies, on certain occasions. And he didn't just drop the sweet in your hand. He pushed it into your palm.
Right.
Which was pretty cool.
Did you ever get your little hand in there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And the Bengali ladies missed out on this because, interestingly enough, Prabhupada initiated all the Bengalis.
Oh, really?
Even if they didn't chant japa. There was a couple of Bengali ladies. They did chant japa. They got first and second initiations. But all the other women, they would just talk if you gave them beads. They would just talk to each other. So then Prabhupada said, okay, your seva is kitchen work.
These were just local ladies?
Actually, mostly Bengali refugees. Bangladesh.
Bangladesh
sorry.
refugees.
Bangladesh
Wow.
refugees. Yeah.
Wow.
Mostly.
Never heard that. before.
Yeah. They got the mercy.
They got the mercy. They did a lot of seva.
Yeah.
And helped start the whole temple.
Yeah?
Wow.
Some of them are still in Mayapur.
Oh, really?
Well, one I know of for sure.
That's pretty interesting. And how was Vrindavan? You went with Prabhupada to Vrindavan?
I went to the Hyderabad part of that festival.
Okay.
But Prabhupada flew there, and I guess he flew to Vrindavan. I don't remember. Well, okay, that was the opening of Krishna Balaram Temple. I mean, I could tell you some.
What a year.
Yeah. And that was on Ram Navami. So it was a long festival. It was like 5 weeks. Longer than the previous year had been like 3 weeks.
A 5-week festival.
Yeah. But what's interesting, what I remember about the installation is that, well, to get some credibility or something, Prabhupada felt he had to get some South Indian Brahmins to participate in the ceremony. He told us that all you really need is to chant Hare Krishna to install the deities, but, the local people wouldn't accept that.
Right.
So we got these physically big Brahmanas.
Yeah.
And then I remember there were a lot of speeches, because a lot of this was in Hindi, we didn't understand.
Yeah.
And every now and then Prabhupada would say in English to us, "Don't be disappointed." We could only understand that they must be saying some criticism of the Westerners, but we really, couldn't tell what they were saying.
Right. Wow.
But I remember so many times he said, do not be disappointed.
He's like, "Don't worry, Prabhupada, we don't understand what they're saying."
Yeah.
And so, wow, you saw the installation of Krishna and Balaram.
Yeah. Fortunately, we have those great photos.
Yeah.
You know
Best
the story
photos.
about Vishaka taking those photos?
Oh, yeah. Tell me, it was like someone was...
Sannyasis were blocking her view, and she wanted to get close enough to take those pictures. So I think it was, okay, shouldn't speculate on who it was. Well, one sannyasi, she tapped on his shoulder, I think, and said, "If you stand there, you're going to see this ceremony, but if I stand there, the whole world will see."
And she was practically speaking, the Life magazine photographer for the Hare Krishna movement.
Yeah.
And so we got to see those incredible. We were just with her when she was here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, wow, thank you very much. That's beautiful. Anything else you want to share? Where can we get your book?
Well,
I just started it today, and then I had to go back to writing, but Pranapriya finished like almost half of it already, part 1.
Oh, good. Okay.
And so it's very addictive, very quick. And that's is that you?
That is me.
That's a cute picture.
It's in Mayapur, that picture.
That's great.
Since I published the book, which has been quite a few years.
Yeah.
26 years ago.
Oh, it was 26 years ago.
Yeah, 2000. I wrote it in 1999, and published 2000. And since then, I've gotten some good pictures. The book's already published. So I do have about 50 copies at my home in Alachua, Florida. And when I get back, I will attempt to get it back on Amazon.
Yes.
And I do the fulfillment. But I have...
How many did you make?
3,000.
Wow.
We have
Wow.
about 50 left. So...
oh, my God. I didn't look at these pictures. These are incredible.
That's the road show, that picture.
The road show is a traveling troupe of artists, musicians, performers, and you were part of that.
Yeah.
That is incredible. They had like 2
That's
school buses.
me.
It's super hippie Hare Krishna. You got to see it. Vishnu Jan Swami
He
was
joined
part
it
of
after.
That?
It started with Kirtan and Swami, but Vishnu Jan
Okay.
Swami came and took it
Oh,
over.
these
kinda.
pictures are incredible. I didn't even see these.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Usually I just read the photos. Are you in this picture or no?
I am, but hiding back there.
Okay, that counts.
But you might know Chinmayi.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
Jagadatri, the
Oh,
other
wow.
Raghunath's mother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So,
And that's somebody else's child.
so anyway,
Prabhupada.
we're going to recommend this book. Srila Prabhupada
Oh,
is coming.
I am going to make an audiobook.
Oh, great.
Oh, that's what we
Yeah.
need, an audiobook.
Yeah.
That's great. Fantastic. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing. And
Thank
I will
you.
say that it gets good real quick, like first few pages. Thank you so much. And we're going to
thank
read
you.
it, and we're going to ask you more questions when we see you.
Okay.
Haribol, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Pranapriya. Yeah, so we're going to have Bali Mardan come down.
Yeah.
Prabhu, Bali Mardan, the very unique. I never got to meet you, but I always heard of you from. He's a lot of the old Prabhupada photos you're in. So I always knew of you, but I never got to meet you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you got to hold that mic and you got to talk right into the microphone, Prabhu.
Haribol.
Haribol. So Prabhu, you were going to NYU. This is what I remember from your story. You were going to NYU in New York in 1968.
Correct.
And how did you meet the Hare Krishnas there?
I was
A little closer, just there.
I was at NYU. I think I was in my late sophomore year, and I had in one of my courses I had read Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
But a translation only. So I had questions. I was also philosophy was my minor, so I was very impressed with the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. And I was thinking in my mind, how can it seems like such a perfect philosophy, but how can one actually apply it in one's life?
Sure. That was my question too. Whenever I read spiritual books, all right, what do I do with this information now?
Correct.
You know? And so how did you stumble upon 26 Second Avenue?
Well, I used to glance at the Village Voice every now and then, and I noticed at the bottom of the classified, there was a little section that said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And it mentioned an Indian Swami who was chanting at Tompkins Square Park.
Wow.
But being in my college days, I wasn't getting up very early on Saturdays or Sundays to go down to Tompkins Square Park.
Isn't it amazing how many you missed?
Yeah, correct. But an associate of mine at school, his name later became Paramananda. I think his name was Ben at the time. He became a devotee of Hare Krishna, and he was going to the temple at 26 2nd Avenue, and he brought me spiritual food, prasādam, I remember, which was very nice. So and he had, advised me to, I might want to go down there and check it out.
Wow.
So being as, I was already into Bhagavad Gita, I thought that was a good idea.
Was your first impression, this is cool, this is weird, this is incredible, this is crazy?
There were a lot of circumstances that happened that were very strange. I was sitting in the lounge one day with one of my professors, and this very big man came up, and he was all excited. He wanted to talk, so we said, his name was Bruce. So I said, go ahead, Bruce, what's up? So he was very excited that the Rolling Stones had come out with a new song called Satisfaction, which epitomized the position of the living entity in the material world not being able to achieve satisfaction no matter how much material advancement that they made.
It's the deepest song ever, actually. It might be like the essence of Prabhupada's teachings about material world.
Exactly. So anyway, I did go down to the Lower East Side, and I was very shy at the time. I wasn't like going to jump into some,
Sure.
Group that I didn't know anything about.
Right.
But I was very impressed by the kīrtan. The vibration of the kīrtan. I was standing on the other side of the glass, was very powerful.
Wow.
So I eventually went into the 26 2nd Avenue, which was the first Hare Krishna temple in the United States.
There is a moment, and I don't think people have to deal with this anymore, per se, because, like, for example, you can listen to the Hare Krishnas on YouTube, or you can listen to a kīrtan on YouTube, or you can listen to our podcast privately in your car, but there is, like, some barrier between you and then entering a temple for the first time. That's like a little scary, exciting, what am I doing? I remember that the first time I opened that door and went into that temple. And yes, I could, when you're explaining yourself standing outside the glass, but appreciating the vibration, I knew exactly where you were at.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very true, I think. So when I finally got the courage to go inside, I became enamored with not only the chanting of Hare Krishna, but with the words of Śrīla Prabhupāda.
Was Prabhupada there when you went?
No, he had gone to India, and when he came back, there was a problem with his entry into the U.S., so he had to stay in Canada, in Montreal.
Oh, wow.
So he was, he was in India or he was in Montreal at the time.
So when was the first time you met Prabhupada?
When I went for initiation about 4 months later, maybe.
Wow.
And I traveled to Montreal, and they arranged. Gorsinder and Govindi were his personal servants, and they arranged an appointment for me to meet Śrīla Prabhupada. And I was still at NYU then, so I was, a little bit, troubled about what my future. Do I have to give everything up and just quit school and drop out? And
How many years were you in school already?
I'd already been there about 3.5 years.
Oh, wow. And what did Prabhupada say? I just want to make sure people can hear you.
So when I went in and explained the situation to Śrīla Prabhupada, he was very accommodating, and he advised me to finish school, to graduate, but to use that education in the service of Sri Krishna.
Nice.
In other words, to spiritualize it.
Nice. And it seems that Prabhupada just sort of claimed you and sent you places very quickly. Was that quickly? Did I understand that?
Yeah, I went back to New York after a couple of weeks, and then I was doing Sankirtan, and I was very close to the temple president, Brahmananda Prabhu.
Okay. Who also went to NYU, right?
He was also an NYU graduate, and he was very. He had a tremendous amount of devotion to Srila Prabhupada, so he was. So one absorbed that from being in his presence,
right?
As the other devotees in New York at that time, because we didn't know anything about Krishna. There was no Krishna book then. There was no teachings of Lord Chaitanya. There was no nectar of devotion.
It's amazing that all of you, the whole Hare Krishna 1.0, it's as if you just said, I believe whatever this man tells me.
Yeah, everything was Prabhupada.
It's interesting also because we always have this, and we preach like this too, don't just go blindly into meeting some charismatic guru who, it's not just how they look and how they talk, or if they have a long beard, or if they have beautiful robes. You have to understand what guru is. You have to understand what the teachings are. You have to understand what the conclusion is. But you guys broke that rule. You guys were like, I met Prabhupada, I knew he was my guru. It's like you guys went right to this guy is not ordinary.
We could feel the love emanating from Śrīla Prabhupada.
Everybody says the same thing.
He was not an ordinary person.
A little closer.
In other words, if Jesus Christ came back today, would he appear to you as an ordinary person? Or would you feel some?
I think I'd feel something.
Special? Yeah. Because he's directly empowered by God. So Srila Prabhupada was the same way, and he exhibited in his actions, because when one was with him 24 hours a day, he didn't take no time, such thing as time off.
Right.
Every second was to be used for Krishna, for God.
Now, so when did Prabhupada start? I know you went to Japan in the old days. How did that happen?
Yeah, well, that happened. Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Brahmananda, one's on the East Coast, one's on the West Coast, kind of. And Tamal was close to Prabhupada because he was staying a lot in Los Angeles at that time. So they were looking for someone to accompany Sudama Prabhu to Japan. who was a West Coast devotee.
Okay.
So they chose me for some reason, whatever reason might have been. But
going to Japan means you go there and do what? Open a temple?
Open a center to establish.
How old were you?
To establish Krishna consciousness. I think I was 18 and a half.
You're 18 and a half. You've been a devotee for how many years?
For like 6 months.
Okay. Okay. All right. Everyone listening to this, 6-month devotee, 18 and a half years old. Go to Tokyo. Did they give you like what, $10,000, $20,000 to work with? No. Did you get a plane ticket?
Yeah, we got a plane ticket.
You got a plane ticket, and what?
Very little else.
Very little else, and just like figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like this was a crash course in also just adulthood, how to like grow up.
Well,
you know,
Prabhupada used to always say, "Do as I do."
Right.
So he came to America
with nothing.
With nothing. So Krishna provided for him. So in the same way, the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that he provides for his.
And it's true. It's true. He like totally took care of you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you went to Japan. How did that go? I mean, first of all, Pranapriya and myself just got back from Japan. And if you've never been to Japan, you got to understand they have a whole different alphabet. So if you're looking at the streets, you can't read what the street names are. Not that many people speak English. And this was 45 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, language was a difficulty.
Language is a difficulty. Did you just sit down and chant like under a tree like Prabhupada did?
Well, we had no other choice eventually but to find a place where we could chant. But in Japan at the time, it was a strange time because we had heard that Shinjuku was an area where young people like to gather. You know, we thought it was like Greenwich Village.
Was it? It was. I mean, we just played in Shinjuku, so it's still got that sort of alternative.
But the thing was, when we went there were all these kids with these bags over their mouths, and we couldn't figure out what they were doing.
Oh, I know what they were doing.
They were sniffing glue.
They were sniffing glue, yeah. They were doing that when I was a kid, too.
So it was bad. It seemed like Japan was a ripe area for Krishna consciousness because the kids were looking for something.
For something deeper.
That society wasn't providing for them.
And did it work? Did people get into it or not so much?
Well, actually, we ended up going to Kyoto first.
Okay.
After Tokyo was very difficult to get a place. There were all kinds of these special things like it's called key money, where in order to rent a place you have to go through this elaborate procedure. But Kyoto was a lot easier because it was so much smaller.
Lots of tourists. It's a very charming city.
Yeah, many Buddhist temples. You know, spiritual-minded people.
Sure.
So we were able to rent a small house there, and we started having Sunday programs.
Wow.
You know, a little feast and chanting and a little lecture. And there were university students there that were able to converse in English, so we would get them to do some translation for us. You know, so we're having nice programs. But eventually we decided that we needed to go back to Tokyo.
Okay.
Because it's such an important city.
And how did you end up from there to Australia?
Well, when we went back to Tokyo, Krishna arranged for us to be able to rent a small house where we were near Shibuya in Meguro-ku, where we were able to have regular programs and have a more regular temple activity. So
it seems at that point you should just stay in Tokyo, but you ended up in Australia. How did that happen?
Yeah, well, what happened was we had met an Australian couple who were very favorable to Krishna consciousness, and they offered to try and assist us to establish something in Australia because there was no Hare Krishna temple in Australia.
So the devotees had never been to Australia yet?
No, there was one devotee. Prabhupada wrote me that there was a devotee named Chidananda who was supposed to go to Australia, but he applied for a tourist visa and was turned down by the government for whatever reason.
Okay, so you went first.
So I thought...
With Sudam.
So Prabhupada encouraged me to try and go to Australia if it was possible. So I decided to take a different route, and instead of applying for a tourist visa, I applied for an immigrant visa.
Okay.
And seeing as I was a recent college graduate, I thought
might
that might help.
Did it
somewhat.
help?
Yeah, I got the.
You got it. Okay. Great. And how did you do in Australia?
So Australia, I arrived and I was in the suburbs. And if you ever go from Australia, from Tokyo to Australia, you'll notice it's like being in another world. It's like going to another planet, actually.
Yeah.
It's like there's no people. Where's all the people?
Right. Oh yeah.
Especially in the suburb of Sydney.
Yeah.
Australia. So I just decided. I mean, the couple was very nice, but I decided that in order to be effective, I needed to go into Sydney.
Sure.
So I took off, and I had a few dollars, so I was able to rent a room for a couple nights. And and I was
there was no master plan. It was just sort of like
I was near King's Cross.
Yeah, that's the famous downtown spot.
And I discovered there was a little park near King's Cross, which looked very favorable to just sit down and play the mridanga and chant Hare Krishna.
Wow.
So that's what I did. But that's what Prabhupada did, so I simply followed, his example.
His lead.
I appreciated how in the book you were saying, I think it was during this time in Australia, that, normally you're like shy and introverted and you wouldn't be, a preacher so much, but you were just following, you felt empowered by Śrīla Prabhupada.
Correct. I think I used to chant under a Panchatantra painting of Lord Chaitanya, and to give me some strength to be effective.
That's beautiful. And then from Australia, you stayed there. You established something. Did you move on from there, or did you get discouraged? I didn't get the chance to read your book yet.
No, at the time, Prabhupada was establishing the Governing Board Commission.
Okay.
And he made me the GBC for Southeast Asia.
Oh, wow.
So now I had more responsibilities, not just Australia. So I decided. Oh, and there was also another issue, but I think that was later. But anyway, I made arrangements to go to Hong Kong. Mm. I think I went to Hawaii first, and then I went to Hong Kong from Hawaii, and Prabhupada arranged for another devotee, Borjan Prabhu, and his to-be wife, Jagatarini, from Australia, who had become a devotee in Australia, and to meet me in Hong Kong.
Wow.
So.
And she had a very interesting story too. She was like in a movie with Mick Jagger at the time.
Yeah, she was an actress.
In Australia.
Quite a successful actress in Australia, and she just started coming to the temple in Australia, and then she decided to go to Los Angeles for her career, for her acting career. Everyone's dream to go to
Los Angeles,
Hollywood, right? So she went there, but unknown to her, the Hare Krishna temple was very active in Los Angeles.
In Hollywood, too.
Yeah, in Hollywood.
With Harinam in Hollywood.
In Hollywood Strip, yeah. So she became enamored, and I think she was able to have a small association with Śrīla Prabhupāda. Mm. And so she became a devotee. And then she agreed to marry Borjan, and I married them in Hong Kong.
And they're still married.
Yeah, they're still married.
Still married. Wow. So from what I understand, you went to Singapore. You started preaching in Singapore. I mean, you're still maybe 19 years old at this point.
Yeah. I went to Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand a little bit, and then Prabhupada came to Malaysia to join me there. And I preached with Prabhupada or alongside him.
Pranapriya wanted me to read a letter that Prabhupada sent to you. This one? Yeah. He said, this is Prabhupada writing you on March 26, 1970. I'm so pleased to learn that your university meeting was very successful. It is very maddening to learn that hundreds were singing and dancing. I take it for granted that you are one of the selected devotees of Lord Chaitanya, and therefore, from within your heart, He has inspired you to go to such a distant place, leaving your parents and home just to satisfy Krishna. This is a great transcendental adventure. Krishna will certainly help you. The only thing we require for this purpose is to remain in our spiritual strength by chanting regularly and following the rules and regulations. I'm sure you are already strict on this point, and still it is my duty to remind you for your steady strength. I just have to say, both of you, Mahamaya and Bali Mardan, it's just like, I just really feel like your generation, if you look at it now, it almost seems like you two are crazy. Like the things that you did, it's stuff crazy people do. I'm going to give up everything. Prabhupada even said it. You're giving up your home and your family. People that are 20 years old don't do that. There was some special recipe in that time of that hippie era where there was a rebellion. Prabhupada captured that, but I'm going to say it, and you're not going to want to hear it, but I believe that you guys are special entourage of Prabhupada who came with a mission. Because normal people don't do what you've done. It makes no material sense whatsoever to have none of your material needs met. Yet, at the same time, you were fully taken care of. You had full faith in the process, and you just marched right on. And I'm sure as like people, your old friends and family thought, what's happened to my son? What has happened to my daughter? Did you get pushback from your family?
Oh, yeah, for sure. They thought I was captured by a cult, that kind of thing.
You were.
But
you were.
I like to think that we were empowered by Śrīla Prabhupāda, in order to accomplish a lot of these things. As we see today, even today, amongst our God brothers, some of them are just doing things that would be considered impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah, and just accomplishing them, through their determination to serve Srila Prabhupada's mission. So,
well, what was one of the more inspiring things Prabhupada said to you?
Well, I'll tell you something that's very, very powerful that happened to me when I accompanied Srila Prabhupada to Australia. Since I was a GBC, I was also acting as his secretary, come personal servant, servant of Prabhupada. That sums it all up, but in whatever capacity was required. But I was staying with him in a small apartment that the devotees had arranged, and it was about 2:30 at night, in the morning, or a.m., 2 a.m. I hear Srila Prabhupada's little bell ringing, which means you have to go into his room. So I enter into Prabhupada's room, and it was very dark, except for a small light where he was reading from this very big volume of canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And he motioned for me to come close and sit down.
Was it his Bhagavatam, or was it...
No, it was Srila Prabhupada's.
And was it Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam that he wrote, or that...
No, this was one that he
was using to transcribe.
He used to read and transcribe from.
Okay.
It was a big one with a red binding. And he motioned for me to sit down. And he was reading from the 7th canto about the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. And I noticed there were tears coming from his eyes. And his voice was a little bit broken. And he started talking about the qualities of a Vaishnava, of a devotee of God. How he had such great compassion for the suffering of the conditioned souls in the material world that he didn't want to go back to Godhead alone. But he wanted to bring them with him. So that for me left a very lasting impression, because I don't know anyone else. I've never met anyone else who cries in the middle of the night for the suffering of.
And calls you into his room to tell you that,
and to talk about it. It wasn't one specific thing he was telling me, but just talking very intimately about it.
That is incredibly intimate. Prabhu, we're super grateful that you share these stories with us. These are
my pleasure.
matchless
you're doing
gifts.
Such great service, Prabhu.
I'm just yapping.
Getting this out to thousands and millions of people. This is a very great service.
Thank you very much. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. Super, super, super grateful. So this is the book, Journey to
the Pacific Rim.
Journey to the Pacific Rim by Bali Mardan Prabhu, and Śrīla Prabhupāda is Coming by Mahamaya. Mahamaya also wrote another one called Ganga Safari, which is her traveling down the Ganga with Jai Patak Swami and 75 devotees. All right, well, thank you for joining us. Thanks to everyone listening live. And we are ready for another week of fantastic lunches with this wonderful crew of senior devotees that very welcome us at their table. They have every right to kick us aside and say, go sit somewhere else. We are very honored. And thanks everybody for joining us live today. It means a lot to us. And apologies for jumping around with our schedule. It's a little crazier when me and Kostuba are on the road. Thanks for everybody who joined up late that I didn't say good morning to.